So let me ask you a question. Do you trust your leaders? And if you're a leader in an organization, do you think your people trust you? That's the question we're going to be talking about right now. Hi, this is Rob O'Byrne from Supply Chain Secrets, and we've just had a wonderful session at our Supply Chain Leaders Academy on the topic of trust. And with me today I've got Kylie Chain, a real expert on this topic. Kylie's held a lot of very senior leadership roles in supply chain and procurement. She's a coach and mentor to leaders, and I thought it would be great to share a couple of little snippets from your topic. So maybe I could ask you, why is trust so important in business?
Rob, it's very important in business. I mean, it's important in life in general, but certainly in business because there's a real commercial implication to trust. When people trust each other, and perhaps if we use a practical example, so a client and supply relationship, when there's a high trust relationship there, companies are actually able to achieve competitive advantage. Okay,
so can you maybe give us a little example of that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Trust, the two implications for business are speed and cost. So in high trust relationships, things happen quickly and they happen at low cost. Okay. In low trust organizations, or where low trust relationships exist, things happen slowly and they happen at higher cost.
So a lack of trust in a business relationship is just going to bog the thing down, because maybe there's all these checks and balances because they don't really kind of trust each other. All that's going to cost money. It's kind of okay.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So you were talking about some great examples of highly trusted leaders and so on. If we want to be more trusted in the workplace, what are maybe 3 things that we should do? That sounds a bit false, doesn't it? I want to be more trusted, but I don't know. How would you put that? If I want to have more trusting relationships in the workplace, how should I alter my behaviours? Or
yeah, sure. The foundations, if you like, to trust absolutely begin with self and then begin with your interactions with other people. So we can't actually establish trust with others if we don't trust ourselves. And in order to trust ourselves, we need to know ourselves.
So by that, do you mean kind of not over-promising to ourselves, maybe stretching ourselves too much, or?
It could be the difference between intention and behaviour, for example.
Oh, okay.
So I judge myself by my intentions, and others judge me by my behaviour. And if
that was
those
a
two
really
things
interesting
aren't
point in
aligned,
your talk. So let's just recap that. So you judge yourself by your intentions, so what you think you're going to be doing, but you judge others by what you actually see them doing. So
that's right. None of us are mind readers.
No. So you might think you're doing a great job and that everyone trusts you, but if they don't actually see you behaving in the right way, that's not going to work. Wow. Give us one other tip. What would that be? What your number one tip in trying to create a much more trusting environment in the workplace?
The number one tip is talk straight. So really that means say what you mean. Be clear in your communication with others, be open, transparent.
Okay, that kind of makes sense. Cool. And you showed us a really great video from Simon Sinek as well, which is a TED Talk, which is a great way to end your session. So we'll put a link to that below as well. What was it called? Can't remember the name of the video.
Why are trusted leaders... No.
Neither of us can remember. It'll be in the link below. It's a really great video. So Kylie, thanks again for a great session today. Thanks for sharing some tips, and I'll make sure she shares some stuff down below. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Hit subscribe, do comment below, let us know what you thought of those tips, or if you've got any other tips, and we'll see you on the channel next week.